Today we will go into the rabbit hole and explore everything about conscious creation. And conscious creation is the most profound framework on which our community and our work is based on. And in this very important video, I will cover everything and I will reveal everything about conscious creation. All the principles, all the laws and everything that we've been teaching within our community and have been seeing some incredible results. All of this we will reveal in this video. So this video may go a little longer, but this will be very valuable. You'll understand everything about consciousness and how it is based on the ancient principles of Vedanta, and you will understand how this teaching of conscious creation is extremely mature and it is a higher perspective compared to all these superficial teachings of personal development, law of attraction, manifestation, etc. Conscious creation is a result of deep exploration of this reality. The questions that I was asking regarding destiny, regarding whether we are in control or is it all predestined, and why are some people naturally more successful than others? All these questions finally culminated into the philosophy and framework of conscious creation. Now, as we begin, note that if you're watching this, you are meant to be here. Nothing happens in this universe by accident, as you will soon find out. And by the end, you will have a profound understanding of this reality, what conscious creation is, and how you can live your ideal life of true fulfillment and holistic abundance. Before we start, make sure that you take notes and listen to this carefully and pay attention, because this is a deep dive and we will be covering a lot of very deep concepts. Let's begin. Now, as you know, I'm an architect and I think visually when it comes to a lot of these concepts. So we will be learning many of these concepts through sketches. So as I talk, pay attention to the diagrams and the sketches that will appear on the screen. Now at first, let's start with the context. There are 4 stages of evolution that each of us go through when it comes to personal development and self-improvement. I too went through the same journey. The first stage is what we call unconscious living. The second is unconscious creation. The third is conscious living. And fourth is conscious creation. And conscious creation is where we need to come to. Now, what are these stages? Number 1 is unconscious living. This is where majority of the society is in. Most people do not understand the nature of reality, the nature of self, the nature of thoughts, and how they are influencing their reality. They live the same life over and over again because of conditioning, the condition that they have because of karma, because of society, because of family, etc. And this conditioned living is unconscious living. The second stage is unconscious creation. And this is where I was many years ago. This is when I was unaware of the true essence of reality, the essence of self, the oneness of existence, and the deeper truth of reality. But then I had access to the teachings like The Secret, Ask and It's Given, and such manifestation teachings. Now, this can be dangerous for an unconscious person, because a child, if he is empowered with the power of manifestation, is going to create childish things, right? It is his nature. If a child has the power to have anything, he will have a lot of chocolates, even though chocolates are not good for him or her in the long run. This is the problem with manifestation. If we do not go deeper, if we do not evolve, but simply manifest from a place of unconsciousness, we are simply empowering the ego and we are strengthening the ego. And what we manifest may not be good for us in the long run, and it can be also dangerous for us in the long run. This is why we need to avoid unconscious creation. The next stage, the third stage, is conscious living. Conscious living is where a person discovers the true nature of reality. And I discovered the essence of reality through ancient Advaita Vedanta. And to summarize, it talks about the oneness of all existence and the infinite potential of self. I understood that I am not this body and mind. I am the pure spirit and I am truly limitless. And I also understood that all the duality and separation is only on the superficial level. In essence, everything is one and every one is the manifestation of the same divine consciousness. This very understanding, even a conceptual, intellectual understanding, changes one's perspective. And when we begin to live our life through this truth as much as possible, that is when our journey with conscious living starts. And then from this understanding, when we begin to create our reality by using advanced tools and by changing our identity, our personality, etc., that is conscious creation. So conscious creation is an advanced state of being where we are aware of the reality of our essence and then create our life consciously. So this is where each of us must aim to be. Now let's understand the essence of conscious creation with the simple example of Mahabharata and the war that took place. In the war of Kurukshetra, initially Arjuna was unconscious. He was unconscious of who he truly was. And he was very much identified with the ego. And this identification caused a lot of suffering in him. He was not clear on what to do in life and he was afraid to act because of his doubts. But throughout Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna simply expands the identity of Arjuna and he reveals to Arjuna who he truly is. And from that perspective, from that higher perspective, what he must do and what he must create becomes naturally known to him, becomes naturally clear to him. We will understand this more and more as we go through this video. Now next, let's come to the nature of universe or the nature of existence. Now again, there are 4 things here which people believe in, and there are different perspectives on the nature of existence and the nature of the manifested universe. Fundamentally, Vedanta says there is one pure consciousness. We will come to this later. But let us talk about the general understanding of reality. At level 1, many people believe that the destiny is fixed. Many people believe that there is nothing that we can do, it is all predetermined. And they continue living the unconscious life. Now there is some truth to this. Some aspect of our life because of prarabdha karma is said to be fixed, but this is not the ultimate truth. And then there are some people who believe that they are in control and they believe that action, creates results and they work hard, they hustle and they put a lot of efforts into achieving different things. Now, of course, action has its place. And when we work hard, it yields some results. But this by itself is not the ultimate truth. And after that, at level 3, there are some people who believe in the teachings of law of attraction and manifestation, who believe that thinking positively and having positive emotions creates a positive reality. Now, again, there is some truth to this, but this by itself is not the absolute truth. There are elements beyond and deeper than thoughts, emotions, which are influencing our reality. So this 4th level is conscious creation. Conscious creation is basically the understanding of reality and then understanding our place in this reality. So it is about understanding this reality for what it is, as a simulation, as a creation within that unified, infinite consciousness. And it is about understanding who we are as characters, as a mask over that consciousness. So let's explore this deeply from this point onwards. Now we have come to the important aspect of the conscious creation codex. From here on, we will be covering some advanced concepts, so please pay a lot of attention. Now, there are 9 pillars to the conscious creation codex. It all starts from Sankalpa, which is an intention, because nothing in this manifested universe moves without an intention. And then there are the first 4 pillars of Brahma, Karma, Dharma, and Marma. And there are the second 4 pillars, which is Chitta, Viveka, Kriya, Samanvaya. And what we have at the end because of all this is Ananda, which is bliss or joy or fulfillment, whatever we wish to call it. This is the end goal. This is the ultimate requirement for each and every one of us. Whatever it is that we are doing, whether it is an entrepreneur who is trying to build a business and make money, or whether it is a professional who is seeking purpose and more success, or whether it is a person in bar or in a playground, everyone is seeking joy, fulfillment, and happiness. And this is Ananda. This is the ultimate goal. And fundamentally, Vedanta says that the source of this is within us. That is what we will explore first. So, with this, let us explore the first pillar of Brahma. Brahma is the infinite consciousness. Brahma or Brahman is described as the essential aspect of reality, and as per Advaita Vedanta, this is the only reality. This is what actually exists, and the world is simply a simulation within this one reality. So everything is Brahman. Even we are the same reality, but we have identified with our body and mind, and we are experiencing the reality from the perspective of body and mind because of our identification. Chandogya Upanishad says, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. Every aspect of this universe is one reality, one Brahman. And again it says, Tattvamasi. You are also that. You are it because everything is that. So, realizing this is the ultimate goal as per Vedanta. This is about transcending everything. But then let's explore if, with this understanding, if we have to play the game of life, if we have to create something in this world through which the world can benefit, how can we make use of this understanding? For that, we need to understand the second pillar, karma. Karma happens because of identification. Karma is a Sanskrit word which basically stands for action and memory. Now, each of us have identified with our individuality as the ego, and we live different lives. As per Vedanta, we have lived thousands and thousands of lives as different bodies, as different animals, etc. And because of evolution and because of this rebirth and reincarnation, we have accumulated a lot of memory. And this memory is not something that someone else is keeping account of, but our own system remembers our actions. Basically, whatever we do at the physical level, at the mental level, or at the deeper levels, our own subtle body, the Sukshma Sharira, remembers it. These impressions form karma, and they create a direction for our lives. They give a momentum for our next life and the current life. So, this is karma. Each of these principles are very deep, but we are trying to keep this as brief as possible. Now, the third pillar is dharma. Dharma is about morality, responsibility, and purpose. It is living in a sustainable way where our life creates a positive impact for the totality as a whole. And apart from this, it is also about purpose. It is about our place in this world. Based on our innate tendencies, what is that we are supposed to do through which we can render the maximum amount of impact in this world? That is dharma. That is called swadharma. And that is very important to understand, and that is what most people miss, which we focus a lot within ACS. And then there is marma. Marma is a very interesting aspect of this manifested universe. This principle basically states personality is equal to personal reality. Basically, as per Vedanta, whatever we do in this life and in the previous lives has accumulated memory, and it sits as karma. And because of this karma, new vasanas or tendencies are created, deep seated tendencies. We all think in a different way, we have different tendencies. These are vasanas. And these vasanas give rise to vrittis. Vrittis are thoughts. And the continuous stream of thoughts gives rise to action. And this action again causes karma. And it also forms samskaras, which are, personality traits. Basically, it is a cycle that keeps repeating. Our karma creates a new personality for us to live this life. Because of this personality, we unconsciously create our reality, because of which new karma is generated and the cycle continues. But we can break this through conscious living and conscious creation. And one aspect of conscious creation is karma yoga. Karma yoga is basically about detachment. It is about detaching from our identity, and it is about detaching from the outcomes of our action. Basically, we can have intentions, we can have sankalpas, as long as they are not driven by the ego, and as long as it is not creating any harm for the rest of the society. But we must not be attached to it, because attachment brings in suffering. We need to be detached from it, and we need to work simply because we love doing what we do. We must simply work and live in the present. That is the idea. And marma, the secret to this is that our personality is creating our reality. Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita, that our mind is our best friend and our worst enemy. And the great Astavakra said, Yamati sagati bhavet. However you keep your mind, such a kind of life you will manifest and you will live for yourself. This tells us that our personality creates our personal reality, but we have not understood this. We are unconsciously creating our reality, because of which we are suffering. So with this understanding, we must begin to consciously create our reality. So now we covered the first 4 pillars of conscious creation, which is based on the Vedantic teachings. And now let's move to the right hand side, where we will cover the next 4 pillars of conscious creation. And here the 5th pillar is chitta. Chitta is consciousness. It is reflected consciousness. Basically the awareness through which we live our life. The awareness of the mind is chitta. And here we need to understand that we need to simply understand the power of consciousness, and we need to be conscious or aware of our unconscious belief systems, tendencies, thoughts, emotions, and our personality itself. So, simply being aware of everything is the teaching and the point of the 5th pillar. And the 6th pillar is Viveka. Viveka, as per Vedanta in the traditional sense, is about clarity, and it is about the ability to discriminate between what is real and unreal. But in the context of conscious creation, along with this, it is also about being clear on our vision in life. What do we want from life? This is what we must think of in great detail. So there are 3 things that we must be clear on when it comes to the 6th pillar. Number 1 is, what do we want from life? Number 2 is, why we want it? Because we need to go deeper and see if our desires are superficial or it is coming from a deeper place of understanding. And third, we must uncover who we need to be as an identity, as a personality, in order to create our ideal reality. So, our current personality is responsible for our current reality, and our ideal personality will be responsible for our ideal reality. Now, our job is to transform our current personality into our ideal personality. This process can happen through conscious creation. Now, let's come to the 7th pillar, that is Kriya. Kriya is internal action, basically making use of different tools and techniques like guided meditations, conscious vision booking, waking up exercise. We have different tools and techniques that we use within the framework of conscious creation in order to make it happen, in order to make our ideal personality happen, and in order to make our ideal life happen. This is Kriya. And any one of you who are listening can start with simple meditation and affirmations and simply being aware of your thoughts, feelings, emotions every single day. So, this itself makes a huge difference. After that, the final pillar that we need to take care of is Samanvaya. Samanvaya is about integration and coordination. Basically, integrating all of these principles and understanding and all of these tools and methods into our life and living according to these principles, and not letting the external world overwhelm us and life circumstances take control of our life. So, living in this alignment is Samanvaya. And ultimately, when we do all this right, what the end result is Ananda, or joy or fulfillment. So, this is the idea of conscious creation, and this is the conscious creation codex. Now, at this stage, you understand how conscious creation is very different from a lot of manifestation, law of attraction, personal development teachings that you would have heard of. Because all of these teachings focus on the surface level, but Vedanta goes very deep into the essence of reality. It explores different dimensions of existence, different dimensions of who we are, and takes us back to the source, which is the infinite consciousness, the infinite truth that we truly are. So, this allows us to understand our true power. And from this place of power, we also understand the influence that we have on this reality, on our personal reality. So, all of this, when we put it together, can make a huge difference in how we live our life and what we create in this external world. And one more thing that I wanted to mention here is that there are three paradigms. There is being, there is doing, and there is having. This is mentioned in Conversations with God. The being paradigm is the most powerful paradigm. Basically, most people are at the level of the having. They feel and think that if they have something, they will be happy and successful. And then there are some people who are at the doing paradigm, who think that working hard and putting efforts, will result in having different things, and then that causes happiness. But very few people understand the power of being. And what Vedanta speaks of, addresses this dimension. When we go beyond the superficial levels of thoughts, feelings, or even belief systems, and understand the nature of awareness, that is when we become the true masters of reality. Because it is all a play of awareness. As per Vedanta, even matter is an appearance in awareness or consciousness, and it is consciousness in its essence. So, consciousness holds tremendous power over matter. And at the source, at the deepest level, since we are that infinite consciousness that is now channeling through our being, which is our personality or our deepest identity, and based on our personality, our tendencies, our belief systems, it is channeling through and manifesting a certain kind of reality for us in the external world. This is what has been happening. Now, if we change this being, if we change our identity, then that same infinite power, that infinite consciousness can channel through this new identity to create a new personal reality. So that is the idea of conscious creation. But to do this, we must first understand consciousness, because consciousness is the essence of reality. And even after all this, once we understand consciousness, we will come to an understanding that whether we create something in this world or not, our happiness, our fulfillment is not dependent on that. We will start from a place of happiness because we will understand that our nature is infinite and our nature is happiness. And this is the most profound thing that we must understand in order to live a joyful and a fulfilled life. But then when it comes to conscious creation, there can be many challenges for each and every one of us. So the main challenge comes from conditioning. And this conditioning has happened at various levels. At first, there is karma, and then there is society, then there is our parents. Like this, there are different levels of conditioning that has happened to us. And overcoming this conditioning is the challenge to conscious creation. We need to change our habits, we need to change our personality, and we need to change our entire identity in order to create a new personal reality. This is why we are stuck. And since most personal development and manifestation teachings focus on changing habits and personality, that is why most people do not find results with this. But through conscious creation, we understand that we are not the personality itself, right? Conditioning has happened to the personality, to the person, not to the consciousness. Consciousness is unconditioned. It cannot be conditioned. It is infinite and it is the true power of existence. So this is why conscious creation is so powerful. We are not trying to change anything by doing something. We are simply peeling the layers of our being to understand who we are, and we are trying to tap into that infinite potential. When we begin to understand that we are not this person, but we are the infinite awareness, right? Which is simply beyond our personal identity, then just through this understanding, disidentifying our attachment to this personality becomes easier. And then consciously creating our new personality, our ideal personality, and then making it a part of our life consciously will be the next step. So this is how the process of conscious creation, overrides all the challenges that one faces when they follow typical manifestation teachings. When we think we are this person and when we try to change this person, it is difficult. When we truly understand that we are not this person, but we are an infinite potential which is simply identified with this person for a limited time, and then when we try to disidentify, it becomes easy because we are holding on to our true essence and we are letting go of something that we are actually not. And then we can consciously create a new personality. I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say. So this was all about conscious creation that I wanted to cover for today's video. Now let's quickly summarize the importance of conscious creation and how it differs from typical manifestation teachings, and also let us then look at some action items which you can start doing from today in order to make conscious creation happen. Number one, conscious creation talks about the infinite potential of the self versus the finite power that we make use of in law of attraction or manifestation. Basically, in conscious creation, we are tapping into the infinite consciousness that is the source of creation. Whereas in law of attraction, we are making use of the mind and thoughts and emotions which are limited in nature. Number two, conscious creation focuses on holistic abundance and fulfillment versus sense pleasure and gratification. And finally, the most important point is that as per conscious creation, there is no gap between your current life and your ideal life, because as per Vedanta, we understand that it is all one reality. It is all one infinite consciousness within which everything is. And time-space reality is simply Maya. It's an illusion of the mind. Our ideal reality is accessible to us even here and now. This itself is a very powerful concept if we delve deeper into it. When we look at traditional manifestation teachings, we create a sense of gap between where we are and our desires. This makes it even more difficult to create them. With this, let us look at some action items that you can start doing. Take a piece of paper, take a book, and complete working out the 3 W's of clarity. So we discussed Viveka, which is one of the pillars of conscious creation. And Viveka is about clarity about our own being, who we are, and then it is about being clear on 3 things when it comes to the paradigm of conscious creation. Number 1, the what you want from life. What should be your ideal life? What is your ideal life? Just design it and think about it without any limitations, without any restrictions. Then number 2, why do you want it? Is it a deeper purpose for you? Is it just a superficial desire? Just think about it and go deep here. And number 3, begin to design your ideal personality. This is who you need to become in order to live your ideal life. Design this person from scratch. At what time will he or she wake up? What will be his attitude? How will he conduct himself? What will he wear? What are the kinds of thoughts, emotions, belief systems, and overall being that this ideal personality will have? Have absolute clarity on these 3 aspects, and slowly we can make it possible. Number 2, you can make use of the ACS code. We have 6 codes that we follow at our private community, which is an important part of ACS. Number 1 is consciousness. Number 2 is responsibility. Number 3 is acceptance. Number 4 is authenticity. Number 5 is adaptability. And number 6 is love. Each of these points have a great amount of depth to them. We will make sure to leave access to a resource PDF at the bottom in the description, through which you can access this code and other resources of ACS for free. Number 3, meditation. Begin to meditate every single day, at least for 10 to 15 minutes. You can simply sit quiet, begin to witness and observe your thoughts, intentions, desires, belief systems, and simply see whether they are in alignment with your ideal life and your ideal personality. So take account of your patterns of existence. Number 4, you can create conscious affirmations based on your ideal life and your ideal personality. But the important thing is the ACS code, the 6 codes should come before affirmations, so that you understand the reality before you create your own. And number 5, the most important thing is that there is no gap between you and your ideal life. So when you understand this truly, and when you transform your being right here and now, your ideal life will come about in a miraculous way, easily and effortlessly. And next, if there are some of you to whom these teachings resonated and the principles of Vedanta and conscious creation resonated, then keep watching, because now I will introduce you to the Advaita Conscious Society. Advaita Conscious Society is a community of like-minded individuals who are in the journey of conscious creation. And you can join ACS through the Arise membership. And basically at this level, we have an important 3-day program that we call the Conscious Living Model, where we go deeper into the principles of Vedanta and the first 4 pillars of Vedanta, and we will understand how to start our journey with conscious living and conscious creation. And after this, there is also a 21-day challenge that we call the Conscious Living Challenge. Here we have checklists and different tools and different meditations that one can make use of in order to make conscious living a part of their life. After this, there is also an access to the community platform that we call the ACS or the Advaita Conscious Society, which one can access through the web app or the mobile app. So this is a powerful platform where one can connect with like-minded individuals and pursue their journey of conscious creation. And after this, apart from all this, there is also live sessions that we do every single week that we call the Conscious Conclave Calls. So all of this is a part of the Arise membership. And for now, we are keeping the pricing for this membership very minimum so that we can impact the most number of people across the world through the principles of Vedanta and through conscious creation. So to sum it all up, ACS is about the right learning. It's about the right community of like-minded people. And then it is about the right direction